You're not my life. Life teaches you.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, before then I was like, nigga, you're not my mom.
Yeah.
Like, it's not your job to teach me that shit. And the moments you think it's your job to teach me that shit, you out of line. You out of motherfucking line. So if you get in a relationship with somebody who don't have the characteristics that you want, move out of the line. Cause that's not what you ordering. You're not gonna sit there and wait in line for a food that you obviously don't fucking want. And if you do wind up doing that shit, what you feel like? Man, I feel like shit I stayed in line that damn long for some shit I didn't fucking want. So here it is, you got a lot of motherfuckers that stayed in line for some shit they really don't fucking want. Like, I was born into a world where, you know, they was promoting being promiscuous. At first it was the white women when I was a kid, they was showing doing that shit. But by the time, you know, they made it to our side, I was grown. So of course, I'm looking at women doing this shit. You feel me? Like, so what you gonna tell me when I'm like, damn, this is how it is? Most people, when we come up as adults, young adults, we like, okay, this how it is. And you figure out how to, you know what I'm saying, maneuver based on how you understand your identity to be. But like you said, we sit over here and wait on people to motherfucking get some karma for some shit when, nigga, they living in their truth. Living in their truth. And you want them to get some karma. But your ass over here ain't living in your truth. Here it is, this person just reminded you that you're not living in your truth. Because if you was living in your truth, you wouldn't be surprised by the things that you're going through. When you pick up a damn hammer and try to use it to screw some shit in and it don't work for you, like, the fuck? And that's the problem I'm having. You keep on, well, we as a people keep complaining about motherfuckers who obviously ain't on our level. We keep on complaining about that shit. That shit is retarded. Like, I'm gonna sit off here and talk about chicks who ain't relationship type material while talking to women who are. What the fuck? Like, that's disrespectful. Like, I'm gonna look right past y'all. Cause I want to talk about these motherfuckers who don't want to be with me, who don't want to do what's right by the family. Like, that's not cool. And then use that to say that black women ain't shit. Like, that shit ain't, no, bruh. You so skewed in your fucking thinking that it's like, my nigga, I don't mean to be rude, but you need to shut up. Because if enough people hear this shit, you're gonna create a vacuum, just like when I was born in this bitch. Certain things was a certain way. And I had to adapt to that shit and over time recognize, like, damn, this is where I'm gonna fight back. This the point where I can't, hell nah. I'm fighting back on all that shit now that I see that. That's what that led to. But we can't sit here and be like, damn, nigga, you don't remember the Nate, what's that dude named? Nate Washington? I don't know if nobody else had that clarity moment where it was like, damn, we do think certain shit about females is okay when it's not, my nigga. Like, when you're in certain environments, it's okay to just keep on harassing a motherfucker. It's not. You don't even realize the levels of harassment. Like, unless you're taught that shit growing up. So as much as a nigga want to sit here and act like, oh, well, I never did it, but you just vicariously never did it. By default, you never did it. But you need to know these are the lines before you do it, though. Because the fact that you didn't do it now don't mean you can't do it in the future, just because somebody just probably didn't make you feel that way. Somebody probably just didn't make you have a strong desire to where you never came out of yourself like that. But don't get it twisted. If you don't know the rules of engagement, it's a strong chance that you fucking up. But the fact that you do know the rules of engagement don't give you the right to weaponize it against everybody who don't. Now, when you have taken the time to teach motherfuckers who obviously don't know, and then they intentionally go against the grain, ride on their motherfucking ass. Ride on their motherfucking ass. But to sit here and be like, I'm going to teach you responsibility and to make it your duty, anybody who says the jargon outside of what the fuck you understand, nigga, that's gangbanging. That's gangbanging. And quite frankly, if we feel like there's no purpose in gangbanging because you're killing generations of people who don't even have an opportunity to correct their wrongs or learn from their mistakes, then what difference it is when you sit over there and write a motherfucker off because they don't fit into the category in which you say. Because you had enough time to be around other people to learn different things and to cultivate yourself. But here it is, you can tell at the heart of this person, they don't really mean no harm. You feel me? Like, but you just like, nah, you ain't say that shit right. Like, no, black people, we gotta get to a point where it ain't, man, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We past the surface. Cause what you saying, how you say shit is the surface to me. What you saying and how you say it is the surface. Now, for me to really understand that shit, I gotta go past that. And then for me to internalize that shit, why am I hearing this shit right now? I definitely gotta go past where the fuck I just went past. But don't nobody wanna go into the depths of themselves and ask themselves, why am I so triggered when that shit happens? I can fucking tell you why I'm ready to ride on a nigga any fucking time you get out of line with a woman. Because there was times I couldn't. It was times I didn't know how to defend my fucking self, let alone defend anybody else. So that shit still sick with me from time to time. So when I see a motherfucker do some shit, no, not on my watch. Not when I can do something about it. Truthfully, I have to forgive myself for the times I couldn't. Or the time I didn't know what to do. What was the proper solution? To the point I can't go into this shit top heavy and being like, you know what? Because I couldn't get them niggas in the past, I'm just going to ride on everybody who say some shit I don't like. Like, come on, dude. And I'm talking to me. Ain't nobody else got to try to get that shit. That's on you. You can stay in the motherfucking waddling in your bullshit and blaming everybody else for it. I'm cool on that. I ain't got time to be sitting around blaming everybody else for my problem. This nigga tweaking, bro.
You're going to fall.
He tweaking. Let him do it. He need to fall.
I'm gonna sleep in your eyes.
He need to fall tripping,
You
bro.
ain't see him come tumbling down?
I am in the car. I see all of that shit. If anything I heard from that shit is niggas slipping. What I heard. Motherfuckers think they crafty and shit in their ways, but motherfuckers slipping like a bitch. Might as well get on down off of that pedestal. You know what I'm saying? But that's what happened when a lot of us get overwhelmed and be the only ones in our center doing that shit. But even with that, I need you to reprogram like you be putting me up on, as well as a lot of other people don't realize when they come around and say certain shit. They put me up to a place where I'm like, nigga, stop. Stop doing that to yourself. You feel like you're responsible for everybody. Like, stop. You're not responsible for everybody. And quite frankly, when you really understand karma, like we was talking about, like this shit deeper than this lifetime. Shut the fuck up. With your childish ass don't understand changes. Like, that's what a lot of us be, acting like our childlike self. Like, I don't like change. That's not cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when we go into an environment where motherfuckers don't have the same respect for family like we do, we feel like we gotta force that shit on them. No, move the fuck around. Like I tell my daughter, don't be sitting over here, and this ain't even dealing with the opposite sex. Don't be sitting over here up under your sister when she don't want to be bothered with you. Don't be up under your mama when you can sense she don't want to be bothered. Don't intentionally allow for yourself to be mistreated when all you got to do is move around. In a lot of situations, that's really what it be. But we be wanting to force ourselves on people and then get mad when they use the force they know. Like, I'm not mad at you for trying to force yourself on people. That's the force you know, the force of love. It's nothing terribly wrong about that. But somebody got to tell you. You can't force a motherfucking square peg into a round hole. You feel me? But guess what you can do? If the circle ain't too big, you can put that bitch in a square hole. So that's why you got to be paying attention. And you can't just be like, oh, the motherfucker look like he on this, or she look like she conscious. No, it's deeper than that. Cause she awake now. Okay, she awake. Now there's more to it. Now you still gotta check this other shit to see if y'all compatible. You can't just be like, oh man, you know, the standard's so low. Yeah, I'm just glad she awoke. And guess what? I'm talking to red, nigga. I live in the consequence of, I'm glad she awoke. And I thought it was just the women that we were bringing in. That it was like, you know, I can't sit over here and expect all black people to be on the same level I'm on when I know I had time by way of other black people to get here. You see what I'm saying? where it was time I wasn't working, people looked out for me, and I was studying the whole fucking time. So it don't give me the right to sit here and be like, I'm better than somebody. When somebody who totally oblivious to this shit gave me the time to study. Like, that would be totally, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not on that. Let's show you what my, let's show you what my sincerity is. Because I could easily be like, nigga, I got $1 million now. Fuck you, you broke. Because technically, that's what we got. We got $1 million. When you know that you know that you know. Nigga, you don't need $1 million per se on hand right now. You can make it happen. And once you know that shit, ain't nothing that can stop you. Ain't nothing that can stop you. Ain't too many millionaires out this motherfucker just by accident. Them motherfuckers had a belief in their mind that they should be up a millionaire. So therefore they are. So therefore I need the niggas to check the belief they got in their mind that they should be mistreated. Maybe you want to check that. So even when you do so-called get treated in these ways that at one point in time you thought you was being mistreated, but you don't respond the same. You might come to find out you walk in the house and a motherfucker totally cheating on you and you say, you know what? I'm glad it happened that way. Because if it would have been me, I don't think the same mercy that I'm finna extend to you would be extended to, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers be mad when they the one get cheated on. But just think, nigga, if you was the one who cheated, how a motherfucker gonna respond to you? So be glad when a nigga fuck up with you. So you can have the integrity in that moment to peacefully bow out. Or whatever the fuck you decide to do. But if you decide to compound your issues, you can't sit here and no longer say that person was your problem no more. Because here it is, this was just an antithesis to bring some shit up out of you. Because you let it come out. So again, you can't blame nobody for, man, you do something that you didn't want to do. And if you can't do that shit, then maybe it was meant for you to bring this shit out. That's what I be thinking about sometimes. Sometimes you get put in situations where now it's bringing the woman out of you or the man out of you. Like, you know, some women that had to fight their whole life, then they get a nigga who want to fight. And you realize that ain't what the fuck I want. You know what I'm saying? Or a nigga who done had to, you know, fight his whole life and then he get a gal who want to fight. You realize, nigga, I don't want to fight all the time. So sometimes you need that mirror. There's only a certain amount of human function. So for me to sit here and act like I ain't never did the shit you doing, guess what? It's only but a matter of time. It's only but a matter of time. And I might not do it in the way that you do it. So for all my people to be like, you know I ain't gonna never do this. Nigga, there's levels to that shit. You might not ever have sex with no man, but you treat a woman like she ain't shit. Niggas levels to this shit. You're not, that don't make you, you know what I'm saying, necessarily love a woman. And you might have a difference of opinion with a man. You might say, nigga, I ain't gonna mistreat him because he'll beat my ass. Don't get me wrong. I don't need that kind of checking. I don't need a woman to beat my ass. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, I'd probably be better off with a nigga. Like, no, I don't need that. I don't intend to try to start no fights with no women. None of that shit. To the point I need to learn the lesson of, oh, no, no, I have another lesson when it relates to that. That's why that shit happened in my life. Like, but I ain't gonna sit here and be like, damn, you been fighting women, da-da-da-da. That's why that shit happened. No, nigga. Sometimes motherfuckers be too passive. Sometimes people be so in tune, if that's the word, in tune with the people they talking to, that you can't see when the table's turning. And now that you still alive, you need to count it all joy that you learned that lesson, baby. Don't be sitting around keep on holding on to it, because you only gonna get more what you focus on or what you hold on to. So to sit over and keep on talking about how that motherfucker kicked your ass or how somebody cheated on you, to me is no different than asking for more of the same. Cause that same energy that we put into talking about that stuff, Like, imagine how that shit amplifies when it go out. Imagine. To the point that we put that same energy into this shit we say we really want. Anyway. We didn't have no time for this other shit. I heard a salesman say, this person ain't telling me no. They just ain't been convinced. This is what they want. You feel me? To convince somebody don't mean you gotta harass them. You can say nothing. You can be an example yourself. Just keep living it. And the motherfucker just keep seeing, damn, this nigga don't sit around and gossip. This motherfucker don't sit around and call the people begging for money. What is it about this person? You feel me? He don't need to lend himself to talking shit about people. And he damn sure don't need you to lend him no money. This is a rich individual. Like, how'd you get here? That's what motherfuckers really be wanting to say. Like, how did you come to this conclusion? Because I sure call motherfuckers and talk shit about you. Just to make myself feel better. And when I'm broke and going through, I sure call and ask motherfuckers for money. So, what you doing that you don't got to do that shit? That's what motherfuckers we want to know. Because we either, one, worrying about our money, and so caught up on how we going to survive because the physical form done took the place of our mind. We so caught up on pleasing the physical, we think that's our fucking mind. But here it is, we over getting, what's the word? I wouldn't say stimulated, but we feeling some kind of stimuli to where now you're being triggered to want to eat. You're being triggered to want to have certain conversations. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's not necessarily what's progressional for you. You're not choosing it because it's progression. You're choosing it because you've been prompted. Based on something you done did before now. A thought you had before now. And so now you're being prompted in the direction of the shit you've been thinking. And now I understand why I be like, man, every step is a confirmation. Because all you just got to do is change the motherfucking program. And say, I'm looking for this. And really be looking for that shit. Don't look, when you see that other shit, you don't got to go out your way and lie about life and say I don't see the shit. But don't give it the energy you give what you say you looking for. If you looking for your keys, don't get caught up on that cup you ain't been able to find. You know what I'm saying? Sit that cup down so you can put your keys in it the next time. You know, use what you find to get where you're going. But don't be busy being distracted. Especially when you knowing you just gonna have to get right back on the path. It don't make no fucking sense to keep doing that to yourself. Like, nigga, you finna have to get right back to it, and you're over here playing like you don't know what the fuck going on. Like, no, it's everybody else's fault but mine. They wouldn't let me do it. Like I told you yesterday, I gotta stop talking about that situation from that standpoint and say, you know what? How is it coming getting this, and this that we talked about? Like, if you don't want to have certain conversations with people, don't. You don't owe that shit to nobody. To talk about shit that make you feel uncomfortable, that's not living in your truth. Well, not necessarily uncomfortable shit that you feel like is not the conversation. It's not relevant. Like, some people will have you focused on, oh, well, shit didn't work out between us and we need to talk about that all the time. No, nigga, that's not relevant. That's not relevant. That's not more important than what's in front of us right now. That's the past. Ain't you glad that's the past? Like, that's what I be wanting to ask myself. Ain't you glad that's the past? What are you talking about that shit? You don't, man, bro, you were never gonna see me call none of my exes and be like, bro, why'd you do that shit to me? Like, that's not my life no more. So I'm not consistent. I mean, it's not consistent of my life to ask you that shit. Quite frankly, I've surmised my own reason I had to go through that shit, and that's really all that matters to me. Like, if you ain't surmised that shit, I understand why you gotta keep on validating yourself through somebody else. But nigga, this is my journey. And when I surmise, damn, okay, I had to go through that shit to be better, I think that's pretty damn good. That's better than me sitting over and being like, woe is me. Why the hell they do that to me? Shit, quite frankly, I sit back and I think about how much shit I did to other people that I ain't even realize, you know what I'm saying, was a problem for real. Just 'cause I was young and dumb. But you'll continue to be young and dumb if you don't acknowledge that you had some issues or some areas where you was dumb in. And if you can acknowledge that, then you gotta be understanding the other people. You have to. Otherwise, man, bro, the same measure you deal out would be done to you. So if you was a nigga that always used to short people on their motherfucking pay, no wonder the weed man keep on showing you on 3.5. And you mad at him though. But you can't remember when you was short niggas though. And then you ask everybody, do he be shorting your pay? Niggas be like, no. But you still can't put 2 and 2 together though. Now, don't get me wrong, you need to stop going to that nigga because you already got a signature with him. You feel me? That he think you a fuck nigga. Or whatever the fuck his surmise is to do that shit to you. But the principle is you cannot, I repeat, act like you was just born when somebody fuck you over. You can't do that. You can't act like you was just born and you ain't did shit up until now and the nigga just fucked you over. You can't do that. That's cheating. And that dimension you get, to me, that's the true definition of gaslighting to me. Or one of the definitions of gaslighting. You getting niggas all up in arm about some shit you know, bruh. You know it, you ain't in the clear about. And if we look at majority of situations in life, it's, man, bruh, it's rare cases where we gotta be like, maybe that's some shit from way back in her lifetime. Cause it wasn't this one. It wasn't this one. But niggas don't want to be honest with their motherfucking self, so we can't never get to that point. We can't never get to that point to where we like, shit, you know what? But don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting there saying because somebody did something in their past that we as men or women shouldn't step up and have their back. Because I feel like that does some people more too. When they see that no one has their back, it make you less likely to want to change. You know what I'm saying? You like, this is how it is. Don't nobody step in. So the fuck? For some people, that's just really how it is. Ain't nobody ever stepped in. So now they have learned how to adapt in their own ways. That's why I was so understanding to my ex-wife when we was together. And I feel like that's what you're supposed to do when you with somebody. Understand where they're coming from. Like, this motherfucker talk like this because this is what I had to do the majority of my life. So when niggas was like, you need to tell her to shut up, I was like, man, bro, you don't understand how fucked up that shit is to say, my nigga. Like, I don't like everything she say. The fuck? I ain't gonna lie to you niggas. But I ain't gonna sit here and act like it's okay to tell somebody they can't talk though. Just because they saying some shit that you like, man, I can't handle that kind of energy from a woman. But shit, my nigga, maybe this is, you know what I'm saying? This gonna get us right. Maybe this gonna get us right. Because my thing is, she can say what she wanna say, and guess what, baby? I can say what I wanna say. You feel me? Like people used to always say in the 90s, don't dish it if you can't take it. Don't dish it if you can't take it. So I don't got no problem with people saying what they want to say. But what I'm going to say is, don't say what you want to say if you can't stand on that shit. You can't stand on that shit. Because somebody going to definitely check you on it. Somebody going to definitely, or not even check you on it, somebody going to definitely disagree. And it would be best for you to be able to stand on what the fuck you saying rather than not. Because then whoever was just sitting there agreeing with you solely on, like, they at the base level too, they like, that makes sense. And I know truth that makes sense, you feel me? But if you can't expound on it, you essentially become a stumbling block for some people who not ready to seek on their own. You feel me? Like, sometimes you gotta feed a motherfucker for them to be like, man, you know what, what's that recipe? So I can feed myself. And then at that point, you'll be like, yes, nigga, you get it. But instead, we be like, nigga, I ain't giving you my motherfucking recipe. Like, that shit weird. Like, then we wonder why motherfuckers don't do shit. Because we stifle each other growth by doing dumb shit to each other.
Just like that baby.
What lady?
That baby.
Oh, yeah. The new one or
no, the 3-year-old.
Yeah, she is a trip.
Fucking
Dog.
Crazy.
I was telling you that day, you was like, but they look like him, and I see that too.
No, I said they don't look like Joe to me.
I thought you said,
no,
I thought you said
like
the little baby and
no, the brand new baby looked just.
Oh,
like
that's what it was. That's what it was.
Brand new baby.
But I thought the brand new baby looked like the 3-year-old. You know what I'm saying? That's why
the 3-year-old looked just like the mama, but she also looks just like her sister. Like Man, her genes for
Is-
them girls is strong. 'Cause
very-
the little boy do look just like Joe. He do.
And
At
people
first, I
don't
wasn't even
realize
sure
this
if he was
too,
your
though.
son, but he do
When
look
you
just
get
like
with a person, y'all start looking alike. Y'all start
and
y'all
then for
start
them both
looking
to
alike.
be high yellow like that, yeah.
And intercoursing and all that shit. That's why, like, back in the day, they used to say, Asar and Aset was closest brothers and sisters. Like, meaning.
I mean, the story is that they were brothers and sisters, wasn't it?
No. I mean, that's why I'm trying to break it
Monica
down.
bought a Venus flytrap.
Oh, that's fire. That's why I'm trying to break it down, because, like, a lot of the names that these people had in ancient history was based on they common unions. So they would name themselves based on how the gods was set up. The gods always had a counterpart. Like, so for every god you seen, they had a counterpart. You know what I mean? But the point of them having a counterpart was to show this harmony that's coming between two people will lead to y'all having so many, I guess, synchronicities, or, you know what I'm saying, so many things in common to where y'all form a world. Like, it's almost like, it ain't like I take on all your traits or you take on all my traits, but we create a trait together. You see what I'm saying? To where now we both start looking like that. You get what I'm saying? Because of the exchanges that are taking place between us. So that's what, you know, the underlying meaning of that was. Just like, you know, they weren't trying to say Mary didn't have sex, but they were trying to say Mary was of pure blood when they call her a virgin. That's what virgin meant at certain periods of time. It wasn't that you wasn't fucking having sex. It meant you was of pure blood. And when we think about what was going on with different shit in history and how people really felt about mixing, it's way, man, niggas was way more toxic, I show you, when it comes to that shit than they are now. And I say niggas mainly because we was in power at the time. Like, I can show you videos of little albino girls or little boys trying to play with, you know, regular pigmented black kids. And these kids scared, bruh. Because we have a history of certain interactions. You feel me? I can't say they all been good. To the point I'm gonna sit here and be like, oh, that little black kid fucked up and racist for being like that. Let's figure out where that's coming from. And make sure that we don't breed that environment for these albinos to be that again. Like, they was getting mistreated. So here it is, you know, even before they was getting mistreated, some of them had ways that was the opposite of the norm. I'll just say that. But if I was to get graphic, they were saying these people was eating babies. And that's not too far-fetched, because the descendants of these people was eating dead baby. Eating dead people, period. They wouldn't give a fuck if it was a baby or not. But they used this to surmise they could get the melanin or the carbon by eating somebody who has it. So therefore they won't have to be that shit no more. That's the sickness that developed by way of them being ostracized or being treated differently, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what come with it, though. Like, people don't understand, like, if we don't start to acknowledge and appreciate each other's differences, then it becomes that. So that's the whole point of appreciating each other's differences. It ain't for me to appreciate your difference because now I want to try to be you tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So if you ain't what I want to become, then I can't appreciate you. No. No, that ain't the case. Like the lady with Villa Lago on her face, and she's a model. I appreciate her struggle, because it's like, nigga, if I can look at you and still see beauty, even though the so-called standard of beauty was XYZ, it's something else that surmises beauty. And I get that from what you inspired me to see.
You talking about Winnie Harlow?
Yes.
She's beautiful. We got white spots on her face.
Nigga, listen though. If you are a motherfucker who don't think for yourself, she's not. Because there are standards of beauty that's given to us. Just like there are standards of what's food and what's not. You know what I'm saying? And we get down to the bottom of that shit, a lot of that ain't food. So I'm not surprised how people look at each other ain't true either. But I have to address that. Before motherfuckers be talking about why people mistreat each other, like, we go all the way to the end of the fucking story. And don't reference, like, the colorism. You know, the isms in our head, what we scared of, the differences, different shit, you know what I'm saying, changes that we scared of, like all of this shit you gotta address before you start just going to the end of the story saying this person is abusing them or this person is mistreating other people. Because like you were saying, like certain people, you know, they got in their head this what they supposed to do and they living in their truth. But if you don't understand shit about other people, then you can't avoid certain shit either. Because some shit is avoidable. On my mama. Motherfuckers don't want to admit that shit, though. Like, motherfuckers sit here and say, oh, you should abort a child, but you're not going to talk about abstinence? Until you learn to vet your situations? Like, stop telling people to have sex, bruh. Like, and it's certain situations where you can't tell people not. I'm saying give the balance. You know what I'm saying? Teach people how to abstain. Just like we would teach people how to get off drugs if we feel like got a problem with it. If you got a problem with sex to the point that you have to kill the potential for life, we need to talk to you about other options. And it can't just be abortion. Because you're not telling this motherfucker what abortion do to their body. If you're not telling them that, man, fuck out my face. And if you're not addressing that, man, you over there hurting these people more than you helping them. And at that point, then what the fuck we talking about? What we talking about? Because how we know when people come from these strange situations, right? Where these situations where they don't have no family. You know, they feel like the black sheep in the family. They usually go down the path we on. You feel me? The majority of the people that's master teachers, they usually have a story like that. Where they didn't fit in. You ready? So I'm like, man, come on, bro. We can't keep on excusing killing each other on no level. Whether it's black men killing each other, black women killing each other, and black women and men killing babies. Because we be involved in that shit too. That's why motherfuckers be wanting to say niggas. Because niggas be paying for that shit. Or motherfuckers be making a motherfucker feel like they ain't equipped to actually have a kid because they ain't fucking with them like that. But like I said, all of that starts with certain thought processes and feelings that we have towards each other. So if we not going to address how these thought processes and feelings come about, then we need to stop feeling like we actually doing something about this shit other than having a feel-good party. Because if we not going to address how the way that we think, the way that we look at life has to change, and we really not talking about what's the problem, and we not making, you know, the we're not making the obvious solution the priority. The obvious solution is changing the motherfucking culture. Changing the culture. And here it is for a lot of us, we would rather avoid, you know, a culture, period. To the point now you don't even got nothing to build on. Like, I ain't saying nobody culture is beyond reproof or anybody culture can't improve. But if you have a culture that your people go back to, before you sit over here and try to go and recreate the wheel, man, it would be in your best interest to deal with what you already have. And for those who understand how history and passing down wealth, or how your legacy is passed down, you recognize that that's by way of what you come from. But if a nigga becomes like a prodigal child, then you have nothing to go back to. Therefore, you're starting from square one. And the very people that you think that you're competing with, or the very people that you're, you know, in the same field with, you think you in the field with, you not. Because these motherfuckers coming from generations of being able to gather wealth. And rather than you deal with the wealth that you have of a culture. You know, see, a lot of us, we so scared to go back to our culture because we like, man, these motherfuckers broke. You know, our culture don't, you know, we don't have money no more. We been conquered. That's what that shit is. Motherfucker don't want to go back to that conquered shit. Like, man, we been conquered. But that's why for a lot of us, we had to be reminded. We had to be reminded what we was before we were conquered. So then you recognize you got something to fight for. No different than when we look at our black woman, who is the nation. The nation. She is the nation. So don't get it twisted. I get why all this going on. But let's not get blinded by our passions and get crazy with it. But that's why when it comes to the black woman who is the nation, we have to not separate ourselves from the issue as to say, man, it's a culture of motherfuckers who don't want her. Nah, let's talk about what's really going on. Motherfuckers have been, chill. Our people have been acculturated into this culture or this subculture in which we live in. You know, a lot of us don't get what they mean when, or what's being put out there when a motherfucker say subculture. When a motherfucker say subculture, it's a substitute for the culture that you come from. Rather than correct and cut your grass, you would rather just go stand in the neighbor yard. You see how that shit work? You see how that escapism turned us into cowards? Turned us into cowards. Like, think about this shit. The very motherfuckers who we get our information from, you know, on either side. Like, these motherfuckers the ops. They're the ops. Like, whether you getting information to say they been holding us back, or you getting information to say ain't nobody holding us back, you getting it from the same people. You getting that information from the same people. And guess what? It's because they having arguments too. They having arguments, man, y'all helping niggas more than y'all helping us. So that's where you see the information that shows that niggas got opportunities. And then on the flip, you see where it's like, you got white people that's like, man, that's fucked up how they being treated. Look how y'all doing them. But this comes from a place of, you know, once you get situated in life, you have the ability or the wherewithal to look outside of yourself and see where you can help other people. That's why I talk about all the time about becoming self-sufficient, being able to self-sustain. No matter what problems that come or came, you already know whether it's sunshine or rain. You know what you're gonna pull from this existence or experience. But when we get to a point where we're so dependent on each other for whatever reason or another, then it becomes a point of, man, it's your fault, and we playing the blame game. And quite frankly, you know, we went into this 11 portal. You know, so for my people that still want to play the blame game, you're going to see a resistance. You know, shout out to my brother Domu, where you're going to see a resistance of people who is like, you know what, I ain't choosing sides. I ain't choosing sides on that shit. If a nigga get wrong, he wrong. If a black woman get wrong, she wrong. If a child get wrong, they wrong. All right. Now, next step. Big stepper, you feel me? Big stepper. You can't take one step. Be a big stepper. All right, now the next step. Now that this person wrong, how do we go forward? Teaching right from wrong by way of the consequences of this situation without writing the motherfucker off just because we felt like they right or wrong. It's one of those. It's one of those. Because otherwise, we just ridiculing each other with no solution either.
The kiddos are still asleep.
It's not playing out, I believe it. Junior was up late. But when they get to a point that you just witch hunting with no solution, then that's no different than when the motherfuckers kept putting up talking about, man, we hanging such and such. You know what he did. After a while, you gonna find yourself in a position where a motherfucker just realize, hold on, oh, this what niggas do that without asking no questions. You know what I'm saying? Or even dudes, they come and be like, man, shit, this is why I can go talk about females and niggas ain't gonna ask me no questions. Like, they ain't gonna check me on that shit. Like, nah. And if you create an environment for that shit, you can't be mad what come from it. Can't get mad what come from it. When you got friends you can't be honest with. When you got friends that you just gotta listen to everything they say and buy everything they say as though it's the truth. And you know, half of the time when people talking to you, they only tell you what they want you to hear or what you to know. When it comes to people asking for advice, shit. But when it comes to you advising people, the majority of the time, it comes by way of you actually being able to see some shit. You know what I'm saying? It come by way of you actually.
I could have said it.
I was telling you, it's never right there. Don't know where it went, but it was never right there. I know that because I set my phone right there. But just saying, it's easier to blame people. So if you think you are growing, and then you let that be a measuring stick. If you still sitting, I shouldn't. Well, fuck that. Nope. I should feel no kind of way when you say this. So I'm gonna say it. If you still blaming people, then take the time to recognize that that's, you know, it's not gonna change your situation. That's what I say. But if you're talking about that 11-11 energy, going into the 5th dimension portal, you can't waste your time sitting around blaming people. You definitely, like Queen been saying all morning, that's some surface shit. And if I remember, surface is 1st dimension, I think. Because I think the 2nd dimension is length and width. 3rd dimension is height. You know what I'm talking about? Man, what if that shit over here? But we on that. Out of this stupid head. Take my might be in your jacket.
No, my jacket been in the back.
Oh, it's been out. You had it since the morning.
Yeah, I just freaked it before I got out the
Wow.
car. Yeah. So I said it right here.
Or nothing.
No,
Well, let me look over here. I might have knocked it down. Some more. I might have knocked it down. You said it right there. But when I said that right there, I didn't see anything right there. That's right. I'm saying
no, I said it right here in the car door.
okay. Well, we Gucci. I did. Life is beautiful. I feel the need to say what I'm grateful for. I am grateful for my eyesight. Recently, I've going through some shit. My eyesight was kind of a little loopy. I'm grateful for the time I get to spend with my kids. Regardless to like I'm learning, like, as much as we be like, man, the motherfucker said this to me though, you know, we be thinking about the adverse situations that lead to us getting certain things to the point we miss it. You know what I mean? Like, I could easily be like, man, that's fucked up motherfucker, don't want to do this, don't want to do that. Like, don't get me wrong, I mean, I vented that shit. But my conclusion with that shit is be grateful for getting what you asked for. You feel me? Shit, when I was first saying that shit, I didn't say in perfect peace. You feel me? I ain't say give me my kids in perfect peace, but even with that, I feel like I did get blessed with them being in perfect peace to an extent. Because that shit that's going on, they like, don't really know. If that makes any sense. So then it becomes a thing of, I can go in and set the narrative. And as you see, I be like, man, look, that ain't how your mama feel about y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you can have whatever conversation when I'm venting and feeling away in the moment. And a lot of times I wind up telling you what, this shit remind me of some shit from my childhood. So I can't always put that totally on her solely like I know what a motherfucker feeling. But that shit be too eerie for me at times. To where as much as she be like, why you hang up on me? Why you do this? Like, nigga, I be having to back away from you because, nigga, you showing me shit that, you know what I'm saying? That I excused in my head that requires this kind of response. So, nah, rather than keep on being a fucked up individual, you okay? Rather than being a fucked up individual, I'd rather just, you know what I'm saying, walk away from that situation. Ain't like I'm walking away when you need me or some shit, but I'm walking away from arguing or having to explain myself about some shit that you don't owe me no explanation for and I don't owe you one for. Like I told you when we first started talking, man, like certain shit is toxic, bro. Certain ways that we move with each other is just toxic. Like a nigga can't sit here and keep on expecting motherfuckers to have an explanation for you. You can't. I can't expect shit. Fuck you talking about? Can't expect nothing. When even your relationship between you and yourself can be up and down. You tell yourself, I'm not gonna do this. You feel me? And unexpectedly, because you really meant it, you go against it. So you know it's a word. Something you gotta work at. So why the fuck you gonna act like the next motherfucker don't gotta work at it? And just because you say some fucked up shit to a motherfucker, I ain't gonna make them work at it. People naturally grow to their own conclusions. You hear me? Like, naturally, bruh. But we went through the rudeness of school that we think we gotta be rude with each other every time we want a motherfucker to change. And for everybody I've ever been, you know, or even came off that way too, I want you to know that was not my intentions, nor is that the proper way to move. And I just hope you was able to hear something I said though, that was meant to encourage you. Because at that point, you just hope your neglect or your misstep don't override your intent. And then also, just to add balance, I also put that there for people who want to excuse themselves from hearing what the fuck you gotta say. So it's like, nah, bro, I apologize. If that's what it takes for you to hear what the hell I had to say, I truly fucking apologize. On my mama, I apologize. But hear them words as though you said it. Forget I said it. But if you can hear them words as though you said it and get some shit from it, get that, please. Please. Because that's what I said it there for. And I keep on hearing saying up in my head, bro, when a nigga tell you some shit for your benefit, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, nigga. Like, just because I keep on feeding you, don't think I'm pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of purpose would that serve? Like, oh, I keep feeding you, and then you don't shot me. How you gonna eat some more? Just really think about that shit. I'm feeding you, and you kill me. That's the don't bite the hand that feeds you type shit. But when old sayings go away, as much as motherfuckers want to act like, oh, she, you know, you old ass. That's better. I grew up with that shit. Motherfuckers used to act funny about dads. Oh, bruh. This nigga always trying to tell us right stuff to do, trying to show us how to swing a bat. Like, nigga. And then when the father see, damn, the mama don't fuck with me, nor do the kids. And the nigga spirit get broke.
Yeah, you can't force nobody to be nowhere where they ain't want to. I'm sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. But when he see that, it's like,
yeah, you can't blame him for turning away.
And you can't blame the kid when you creating the environment to make this motherfucker choose. You
can't blame the kid for nothing.
Because and it's natural for a kid to choose their mama.
So it's natural for a child to choose the person who's showing them the most love that they think is right.
But that's why I said natural for them to choose their mama, because I'm like, even if the bare minimum is you came out, like when you came out the womb, motherfuckers know that came out their mama. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
know
yeah.
that shit.
But you got a lot of kids who mothers bash they daddy so bad that it makes them hate their mothers. Like,
Oh yeah,
they
yeah.
don't
I
even
ain't
like
taking that
being
away.
around their mamas.
Nah, I ain't
and they
taking
be
that.
living in the house with the mama.
I ain't,
They don't.
but that's
be,
unnatural for a mother to do that. So what I'm saying is, yes, in a natural situation where the
I
mother.
think in our age, a lot of people. I said like our
What
mothers.
the fuck you
our
have
mothers,
sex with a nigga you just gonna sit around and talk shit about? That's unnatural.
Our mothers didn't really bash our dads, but this generation, us having kids, these bitches bash the fuck out of these daddies.
That's the skip a generation though. So far as I'm concerned, the grandparents might have been doing it too. Like you said with the gay shit, the shit been going on. It's just now you know about it. I don't think the numbers changed that much. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
It's just now it's talked about. It's allowed to be talked about. So now people think it's going on more often. If that makes any fucking sense. Like people that's gonna be gay gonna be gay. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no fucking way around that shit. And then you got motherfuckers in the middle who gonna just go with whatever the fuck the order of the day is. Like, you ever heard the saying I'm gay for the state?
In prison,
Yeah. But some niggas don't need prison though. Think about that.
They can be gay for the stay while they at their cousin's house.
Shit, I'm gay. Call it what you want to.
I'm saying. Yeah.
I'm saying gay for the state, period.
You can't if you
I'm saying gay for the state, period.
You gay. You can only be gay for the state when you go somewhere and just be gay.
But if
right
we
there.
in fucked up circumstances,
then you gay.
no, that's why niggas is gay for the state. Cause they be in fucked up circumstances and everybody start clinging together to survive. And that's what they understand in jail. But they'll tell it a whole nother way. Like, niggas is just gay. No, nigga, you put motherfuckers in strenuous circumstances, guess what? People start taking on different roles. You out your fucking mind.
Why would this picture be like this? They talk about this Jesus talking about niggas say something else. I don't like talk about
For real.
shit.
I'm bust your ass. I'm going in your mouth. That's what Jesus, man. Okay. Y'all niggas be sleeping on Jesus.
Who painted this picture?
Nigga, I bet that shit from the time. But I'ma say it's from the time.
Like, did they edit that picture?
Come on, bro. You throwing the whole subject off. What we was just talking about?
Gay for the stay.
Yeah, you don't even want to talk about Jesus when you want to talk about Jesus.
I don't know who Jesus is. I just reading the
Nah,
meme
fuck
on
that. Don't try to
Instagram.
go back on it now.
I'm just
But even
reading
with
the
that,
meme on Instagram.
back to the gay for the state. Gay for the state came by way of a motherfucker being in a circumstance, right?
No.
Oh,
Gay for the stay is.
so you think niggas just gay?
No,
Just gay?
I personally believe, I don't know where it really derives from, but I believe that gay for the stay is when men go to jail and they want to tap into
No,
their
we weren't
little...
talking about men. This was what I heard from females. I ain't never heard those shit.
Women in jail, yes.
Yeah.
It's men and women. Both of them go to prison. Both sexes go to prison, sweetheart.
I think when it... Let's deal with one at a time. Because
Okay, women. When
Yeah.
women go to jail and they're gay for the
Because
stay...
we do shit for different reasons, though. That's what I'm saying. So it'd be easier for us to have a conversation.
This
if
is
we
all
stay
for
on,
sexual pleasure. I don't know the other reasons that this would be for.
Boy, okay, yes, it's all for sexual pleasures. But listen,
That's what makes it gay for the stay when you're in jail and you say, for instance,
you get off subject,
No,
man.
I'm
That's not what I'm trying to talk to
Okay,
you
well,
about.
go
I'm
ahead.
asking you a question specifically. Do you recognize that these people are in these situations, and now other people are saying they're gay for the state? They not saying that. They ain't saying none of that shit. They ain't saying I'm just gay for the state. They're dealing with their circumstances. But other people are concluding they're gay for the state because of what? Like they're in a circumstance, so now they're doing that? Or they was doing that shit on the outside? Because if they was doing it on the outside, it's not gay for the state. Because the for stay means I need some help. Or because this is where we are. If that makes any sense. Like, because we in this circumstance, this is why we doing this shit. So then when you start seeing on the outside more people doing that shit, have they just dressed the circumstance up so cute that motherfuckers don't realize we fucked up out here? Because I've been saying, the lines between jail and the outside ain't too much different. And I'm going to tell you what the line is. The level of being able to, like when people go to a job, being able to move up. People be like, I quit that job because it seemed like I couldn't never move up or nothing. The gray area Where you see all these millionaires coming from right now, these billionaires and shit, a lot of people don't have a clue. And when I even talk to them about what the fuck it is, they like, what? And it's only because they've been programmed by the same society that's intentionally putting them in these boxes and knowing the probable outcome. Cause like people study that shit. They study mass prediction. Like basically, no, that's probably not the proper word or term for it, but basically knowing what masses of people gonna do when you put them in a certain situation. And what would be the study ground for that shit at, nigga? Other than prison, juvenile, school. Cause you see it in school. And it's innocent. When little girls is, in elementary school and they walk down the hallway holding their friend hand. You think one time we was kids, we was like, they gay? We didn't know to say no shit like that. But once you tell a motherfucker what they are, guess what they gonna say? Oh, okay. Especially when they young. Like kids. Somebody told me I was black, and I said, okay. When I was a kid. Now, if you would have told me that shit as an adult, just like trying to tell me about Jesus, how you be responding, I'm like, nigga, come on, bro. I gotta let you know I ain't that stupid. The way that they told y'all the story, I gotta let you know I ain't buying it like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, whenever I asked you, do you not acknowledge the possibility this exists, and you never deny that, but you just like, nigga, the way that story was told, I get that whole game, and I'm not playing that. So it's the same thing to me with everything else. With how we deal with relationships.
And I also just feel like with the Jesus thing, because don't get me wrong, I believe that it's something going on there.
You
but
get
it could
the
have been
concepts.
somebody else. Like, we don't know. Like,
you get the concepts. Like, it could have been from a whole nother culture.
Yeah, so white everything. I can't.
But it's like
just
Superman.
give that to
It's like
them,
Superman,
like,
though. Like I told you, I have Black Superman comic books, but
right.
it's nothing wrong with that if you understand that it's just about the concepts.
Like, I get.
And that's why we had to put it in your colors so you don't get caught up and it don't look like me. So this ain't what I'm supposed to do. See, people don't realize that's what happens in the human mind.
And I know it's more to that because I'm accepting of so many
other cultures.
Yeah, other cultures. Like, that's how I know. Like,
but I think that's part of our epigenetics too, though.
Finally, stop thinking this after.
Right. But I think that's part of our epigenetics too. That's spirit going through you, though. One of your ancestors probably was calling for that. But you hear me though? Like, I think that's part of the epigenetic cycle to where it's like you are attracted to things you always done. Like when I talk about the Kemetic shit, I know I'm the priesthood. And that's why these niggas almost caught me up in being a preacher and shit. Like, because I identify with the higher sciences. Like, I don't like that surface shit. I've
always been a teacher type of person. Like, anybody come to me, ask you how you spell this, ask you how you do this, ask you how you do this. But I never, as long as I've been on my spiritual journey, I never know. I don't know nothing. I don't want to say religion, but nothing was drawn to me. Like, I thought it wasn't that. But then once I started reading this ancient Egyptian shit and found.
But no, hold on, don't go away from the Buddha shit.
No, I definitely feel drawn to that. But like how ancient Kemet, Ifa, Yoruba,
you said you don't write off none of that shit.
All that like pulls me in closer, like
to a point you be like some shit when they pull me in closer like that, I be feeling like this got to be the origins or where the power was still centered. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I need to take ancestry test. I don't know if it's all the way African or what it may be.
No, it ain't gonna be.
You said what?
It ain't gonna be. Cause like you were explaining right now, we ain't just one thing.
No, that shit might come back Indian. That's why I might be.
And you know, a modern term. That's a modern term right now. So they gonna associate Africa with what's found on that continent.
But I was just listening to. Remember that one day you posed that question to me, like if a person had a baby over there and they came here. Yeah, that is what it is.
But that's why I'm trying to tell you.
We're not African American.
No, see, don't take it that way. That's what I'm trying. Hear the game. This is the game I was trying to give you. Is they are running a game of generalization.
Is a person who moves from Africa over to America. Now they're African American.
I explained that to you already.
Right, and I did
But what I'm trying to say is, that's part of the point, but let's further that conversation. Because of generalizations, and that's why generalizations are so dangerous. Because that's a generalization, those terms. So yeah, I agree. We're not that. But we're that and some is what I want to continue
Right,
with.
because we could be the Siberians that then fucking migrated to the Americas.
Come on,
we
bro.
could be
If we know we're the
inhabitants, be the
inhabitants,
natives of the Amara. Like, we don't have to be.
And that's
from
why
Africa
that conversation
just 'cause we're
went-
black, dark skinned
My bad.
people.
and that's why the conversation with the Hebrews, when they say they people went to all four corners, we can gather that it could be truthful because we know we got people like us everywhere. We like, hold on, we ain't just here. I know that. I feel that when I see them niggas in the UK talking, or when I see them doing that shit, I be like,
And that's why is that why people be talking about the Asiatic people and all that?
yeah, Afro-Asiatic. But
Yeah,
these are
because
just
them-
terms that was prevalent at a certain time. Africa minor and Africa major was
But
a term
that
at
is-
one point too.
Like, I just watched this old man talk. He was Siberian, and he said that when hundreds of thousands of years ago, when they was traveling across they don't know where they was at exactly, but it was ice. They were traveling on ice, and they started picking at something in the middle of the ice, and it split in half, and these Siberians went north, and these Siberians went, and then these motherfuckers look like us, the ones that went north. So they saying that's North America. Like, these are fucking, like, how do we know where these people really travel to? Who are we to say that they didn't do these things or that they did do these things? Like, we don't know.
I say we know they did because the evidence is there.
The evidence is there, and these are stories
The
passed down
people
through
are
their
there.
lineage.
You feel me? Yeah. The people are there, and like you said, you got stories, you got cultures.
So who are we to take it away from that? We could have been here way before 1492, way before anything ever.
But see, that's the
all we
thing,
know.
That's the thing, and that's why I say black people are picking up other people's arguments when we say that type of shit. When we write off the possibilities, when we as people, like black people, I can't speak for nobody
Right
else.
now, what possibility?
No, I ain't saying you are, but when we say opposite of what you just said, like possibilities, we was here already. Like when we write that shit off, you gotta recognize that you're taking on the argument of a prejudiced white person who don't know the full totality of history. They just know where they started off at and what they've been told. But when you know the full totality of history, you know niggas, these white people were traveling and was shocked every time they went somewhere finally, cause we was already had centuries, ages, and man, millions of years of traveling before these motherfuckers even knew that we traveled from the same place that they probably came from. Because we was there when you niggas was created.
And I want to know, how is it at Columbus Day if when Columbus went back home, they tried him for his crimes? Why the fuck is America celebrating him? Even though it's changed to Indigenous Day now. But that don't make sense.
What was Columbus' descent? What was he?
He was European. But he went back to Spain. The Spaniard, the people who did the Spaniard Inquisition, the king and queen of that, fucking tried him for his crime, saying that what he did to the natives in America was monstrous.
Oh yeah, but see this.
So why do America celebrate Columbus
Because they're
Day?
descendants. They is descendants
Of Columbus. Oh.
Think about it. And why you think they fought against them niggas?
And that's why they said that all the people that signed these treaties for these lands in Utah and Arizona, this Indian land, is mixed breeds. They not really Indian.
And why you think they fought against the
God.
British too, and had us fight with their ass for our own reasons? You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Like, and then that raised the question: do you think the Britons? I feel like war became a thing just like basketball. You know how it was only white people playing basketball then. Certain team. I'm just saying it became like it got blackwashed after a while to the point now they like, nah, we're not even doing that shit.
We're not
no
even
more.
really gonna fight for real.
No more.
We might say we was, but
Not no more. Not no more.
goddamn
No more. We not doing that shit. Nah, cause y'all got niggas too.
man.
Y'all got niggas too. Fuck that. Nope, we not doing that no more. But the motherfuckers who was winning was the first motherfuckers to start using niggas at war. Think about that shit.
In the house?
Did you hear me though? Think about that though. Cause them niggas so-called kick Britain ass, and that's the only war they really won. Nah, I take that back. Them bitches ain't win, cause the queen still collecting on them hoes. They just tell us they won. But see, that's just like your mom and your daddy talking shit when they come in the house, but when they at work, they be over there, yes sir, boss. Like, nigga.
I'm so happy we don't work with white people at my job.
But I'm just saying, the first time you seen that shit, you was like, oh, hell no. So you do know how to act.
Right.
So you do know how to not cuss motherfuckers out. But with me, you lose your motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, fuck that. I'm holding you to a new standard now. And that's no different than what happened when the Greeks came into Africa. You feel me? The first time they came in that bitch, it was just the men coming in on their own. But once they women got in that bitch, them motherfuckers start feeling the way like, hold on. This woman gonna see I ain't shit. If I keep letting her come around this motherfucker, I ain't did nothing yet. But I feel like my spirit might need a little something too.
No, I'm saying what you doing like that. Block, go get your kids' clothes, or you want to just tell your baby mama bring them when she get off work.
Man, yeah, I'll do that. And that ain't my baby mama.
Well, that's what she be acting like. That's what she want to be called.
Man, we know, but at the same time, we know. Shit, we not on that. Like, we came from the bricks, but we rising above, and we gonna bring our niggas from the project with us, cause how we move. But like I said, that other shit earlier is unnatural. I don't care what the, like, I do care what you saying. I would love to further the conversation. That's why the fuck I said that shit.
Women bashing baby daddies? That shit is not fucking unnatural. Unnatural is a very strong term to say related to that.
I bet. That's why you
Bitches
so emotionally
emotionally charged
rather than not really addressing
and this
it.
hoe got a song that say niggas ain't shit. I don't play that shit. Like, how could you even really put that on your song? But she probably fuck white men.
If you understand everything you say brings that shit into fruition, then you wouldn't say no shit
Right now, so
I think all of them niggas is Illuminati blind rituals. Because
when they
think
have
about it,
hair,
if me an idea,
ritual.
they doing Illuminati blind rituals. And what I mean by that shit is these motherfuckers, we done been so convinced we gotta get the bag to the point we'll let motherfucker use our light in any kind of way. We not even thinking like that. We're not even thinking you using our light. We thinking we doing this shit. Like, I'm on, this is what I want y'all to see. This is my part. All the while, nigga, I've been showing you this shit since you was a kid, motherfucker. I knew your chart. When you came out, I made one of you motherfuckers. Quit playing with me. Cause if I didn't want you here, nigga, I could send a motherfucking wave through your motherfucking house, and none of you niggas will wake up tomorrow. Tell that to a nigga who ain't lost friends like that. Whole family don't wake up. Nigga, you like, y'all don't know what the fuck happened to these people? I'm like, man, my best friend, but we still don't know what the fuck happened to Chris.
But that's,
I'm just saying the possibilities.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
And we see people get knocked off all the fucking time.
Out here, like,
huh?
I said women do be bashing their baby daddies.
Oh, no. We getting back to that, but you got me messed up with this Illuminati shit,
go
though.
to sleep with him, like, that's the weird shit to me. Like, you keep fucking this nigga and keep having kids by him and still keep saying he ain't shit. Like, what the fuck? That don't make sense. No, like, not 100%. I mean, I've never been through it though, but I don't think any nigga that I ever been pregnant by would have ever been an ain't shit ass nigga. I have a very liking for people.
I mean, there's nothing with that type of conversation.
And my mama didn't never teach me no ways to chase your baby daddy. My mama didn't do that shit, so I wouldn't do that shit. I know.
But like, even if, again, I keep saying these are perspectives of people that's outside looking in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, I wouldn't care if I'm the person in the situation with a motherfucker think. You think I'm chasing my baby mama? I don't care. I really don't. Because you don't understand.
No, I wouldn't give a fuck what you think either. But right. I'm saying I'm not going to do it. Like, say for instance,
but I'm saying I wouldn't
care. You have a baby daddy that doesn't want to be active. I'm not the bitch that's going to go knock on your door every day or call your phone all day long. Like,
this is why I'm saying I can't care though. But this is why I'm saying I can't care. Because the moment you start caring about what other people think, that's when you start having these conversations. Like, as much as people act like they not talking to other people when they talking shit about their baby daddy, bitch, you trying to save face. You trying to separate yourself from that situation. Yeah, because it's like taking this shit and trying to hurry and shut the door for your company to come in, and you like, I don't never take shit. Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, because
you fuck up too.
You shouldn't be worried about it. You like
and really your fuck up ain't really that bad. It's something for you to learn from. You need to take a shit. You don't need to hold that shit in. You know what I'm saying? But when you so full of yourself, you would try to cover even the most natural shit. So that's why I say it's unnatural for a motherfucker to be sitting over here talking shit about the person they laid down with. Because now you trying to excuse what you did. You like, he ain't shit. So no, reason, look, I'm trying to tell you ain't shit for you said, so you don't think I ain't shit. Like, no, nigga, you ain't shit too, cause you fuck that nigga. Like, no, you ain't no separation between y'all no more.
I don't even think it's that. I think that if people wasn't so brainwashed, because that's the main fucking thing. People
I'm saying you gotta tell people that so they stop talking shit about people rather than fixing themselves and blaming, going outside.
That's the fucking brainwashing. The brainwashing is don't fix yourself. Fuck anything else. The first brainwashing that we get is fuck self-care. So you don't work on your. The only thing you worried about is what's going on in the outside world.
Looking at everybody
People
else.
don't even try to fix themselves. That's the first brainwashing. So if you try to fix yourself first, you would know that, okay, if this person don't want to be involved with me now that we got this baby, I'm going to let them come around when they do. And if you let it go and let them come around when they do, that person going to come around when they ready. We be trying to force people into shit that they not ready for.
You rather have a motherfucker that's for you than
a relationship. Driving, whatever it is, you gotta let people do that shit when they ready. That's why I don't force the law of attraction on nobody. As beneficial as it is to all of us to know this shit, everybody ain't ready for it, or therefore we would all be already good.
No, it definitely ain't about converting motherfuckers. And I take back what I said, you know, the way I said what I just said earlier. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was basically saying, like, you know, people just bring that shit on themselves. But I don't want to just leave it that way, because it almost feels like how people did me growing up. Like, you going to be in for a rude awakening, and don't tell me why I'm finna be in for a rude awakening, how to avoid the rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? So for me, reason why I'm saying, you know, we set ourselves up for certain shit about caring about what outside people think is because you can't be real with yourself and say I fuck up at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be like, hey girl, don't worry about what he did that's fucked up. Like, let me explain to you what I did. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't talk about that because you worried about how they gonna judge you. So you gotta keep it on this motherfucker. Like, just like America, you know, they gotta have an enemy.
That's why they put us into kindergarten and make everybody think you're supposed to be the best. You're supposed to be the best. You're supposed to be the best. And then we grow up with this motherfucking ego in our head that, oh, if I ain't doing this, or if he ain't doing this, or if she ain't doing this.
When if you teach people integrity, they'll do their best. And that's really what they trying to get. They trying to get people to do their best at work.
And that's
so they trying to tell you to be the best. You feel me? But all you gotta do is teach people integrity. But they won't teach you that, because if you start learning integrity and you see again the history that you been taught in school, you'll be like, nigga, shut your motherfucking ass up talking to me about anything about integrity. You feel me? So that's the conundrum we in. But once you notice that conundrum, you have to lay up some real shit to your kids. You have to lay up some real shit to your family. Whether they older, like we be on some ageism shit like a motherfucker. Like, man, if a nigga is between the ages of 20 and 35, he on his fucking own, man. That nigga can do whatever the fuck he want. He could do for himself. But how you know this nigga's spirit ain't broke? By way of trying to say, man, I know niggas who don't try to save. Like, since motherfuckers want to talk about black men don't stand up for women, but I've seen a history of both. I've seen black men and women stand up for each other since the beginning of fucking time.
Shit right now. Who says that?
You feel me?
Smack them in their mouth.
And if you don't mind, like, it didn't have shit to do with him even being sexually attracted to the woman.
No, it was literally a fucking black man.
No, I'm just saying, it's obvious he not even on that.
Yeah.
You feel me? That's not even
a complete stranger bitch on the bus that he had no idea. That I wish he would have shut the fuck up, because bitches now you could possibly.
But in our DNA though,
but
if you don't check it,
you don't stand for that shit. Like, you got niggas in this world who don't stand for nothing.
That's what I'm saying. If you don't check yourself,
I mean, if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah. But if you don't check yourself, then it comes out. And I noticed that most black men, you feel me, at a certain point in time, they all have that shit in them. I say men, period. I'll go that far. I'll go that fucking far. I done seen young boys who willing to stand up for weaker, what they think are weaker individuals. And when we younger, we think like that about women. But when you realize they got other strengths that surpass what the fuck you can even imagine, you like, nigga, nah, this motherfucker ain't necessarily weaker than me. But this is just the balance of this physical life.
I've seen both sides. I've seen the monstrous nigga too. Like, I've seen the bully ass nigga that really bullied on the alternative.
Somebody who been desensitized like a motherfucker.
Yeah, like what's really going on in your brain that you think it's okay to really bully people? I don't understand that. Like, to go walk.
But you know what that is.
And push them down.
But you know what that is.
Knock they shit out their hand. Like, shit like that.
But you know
You're
what
a
it
psychopath.
That's the first level of
Psychopath?
socialism or being socialized, right? People do fuck shit, right? People do fuck shit. But society determines who you can do the fuck shit to. See what I'm saying? So depending on where you at, when you in school, little kids are immature to a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And mainly how people are the way they are. So for motherfuckers who can't change certain shit or can't necessarily tell, who you think gonna catch the brunt of being around kids who are cruel? We cruel to regular kids. It just so happen you're handicapped. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta think, like, at the end of the day, it's not really
their fault.
I ain't even saying it ain't their fault. It ain't. It's a societal issue. You can't just put it on the kid.
It's like, damn, who teach you right from wrong? That's how I was watching this video on TikTok, and these little boys play with this lady's son every day. Now it's prime time. She at the nail shop. Everybody gone from their houses, and the friends rob her house. Like, to the fact that she just went to the point that she just went to their house and picked her shit up. She called the police and shit, everything too, but she just went to the house and picked her shit up. Waited on the police and shit. But these are people that, like, how do you?
But you got that's where again, and that's socializing that's shit, saying, like, and not teaching people. Yeah, and not teaching people how people get to that point. Like, it's one thing to see people doing that shit, but like Tupac said, nigga, I'm knocking at your door. We're hungry. Can you spare some food?
But that's why psychology is real. Man.
But that's what I'm trying to get to. Look, then the next time, because they done knocked on it for days after that. Still calm, begging, humble. We need food. We at a different level now. I'm feeling like I'm at desperation. And even then, I'm still not kicking your door in. We need food. All this time, and I'm relating this to the situation you brought up, and I'm not gonna generalize it though. But if I just going on what you gave me, that be times, bro, we be seeing little kids that got issues, and we be thinking it's okay for our kid to keep hanging around them, like they gonna influence them. It's two of them.
What kind of issues?
Like,
because when you say issues, my
things that psychiatrists will label. Things that psychiatrists will label.
Autism.
Red flags. Like, when little kids are a certain age, if you don't teach them intentionally, some little kids, if you don't teach them intentionally to be considerate of other people's feelings, they won't.
Right.
So when you see a kid who hasn't been doing that, or you see a kid that don't do that, and you continuously see that pattern, at some point you have to get your child and yourself out of harm's way, because that's not your child to raise. You know, given how society is. You feel me? Don't get me wrong, I ain't saying you can't help this child. But given how society is, and how majority of the time you're going to find yourself in a detrimental situation to take away from your own kid to try to fix somebody else's situation when ain't nobody asked you. That's what they're going to say. Nobody asked you to do that shit. But when you notice that shit, you cannot continue to let your kid keep hanging with these motherfuckers just because you like, I'm glad they got friends. Or you don't want them to lose their friends. Like, nigga, I tell right them quick, nigga, you think I'm gonna let you hang around certain people if I don't like them? And it ain't just, I'm keeping in service with them now, but that's just what they can understand. I don't like them. As they get older, I'm gonna be like, look, you think I'm gonna let you be around a dude that I feel like will abuse you? I'm gonna make that shit so uncomfortable you won't want to be in that situation. And he damn sure ain't gonna want to come around my house. But should you go as far as to be drastic and be with this man, as when y'all get older, I'm gonna always let you know I'm here for you. So I'm not gonna be as drastic as I was when you was a child to deter you. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's levels to that shit. You can't be using the same hand you use when a motherfucker a little kid versus when they adult. So when people be like, you gotta do this when it comes to, there's no one way to deal with shit. So the generalizations is, to me, the whole gaslighting to a point a nigga don't even give a fuck no more. A lot of niggas don't even care about these social issues because they done been lied to so many times about this type of shit. They've been manipulated or lied on about this type of shit. To the point, it's like, damn, you got motherfuckers out here making up shit and making it hard for people who actually going through some shit to really figure it out. Or people who done been through some shit and didn't say nothing then, and now they want to, all right, I ain't say nothing about this motherfucker, but I don't like him. You feel me? Like, people done actually been in fucked up situations and didn't say nothing. But then somebody else don't want to fuck with you like that. And then you say they did that. Like that, I seen it and been through it my fucking self. To the point I know the paranoia that come from somebody being abused or misused. But it don't change the fact we as a people have to weigh that shit out, G. We can't sit there and just be like, just cause anybody and everybody come up and say something happened to them. We can't sit there and just go blind. But at the same time, we can't be so desensitized that we don't give a fuck either. There's a balance. There gotta be there. It gotta be there. Otherwise, why you keep on experiencing all this shit in life and not paying attention? Just to, you know, broad brush everything and not pay no attention to details. Again, that's still surface level. I was looking up the dimensions. They talking about it's 11 dimensions. I'm like, man, it's probably more than that. But still, though.
Yes.
But I'm just saying, but still, though, that's like, for some people, they ain't heard nothing past 3D. Be real.
Yes, they have. They know it's 4D.
Okay. We gonna go, bro. We gonna do a census right now. 10 people. Pick 10. Matter of fact, pick 10 people in your phone and call them and ask them and say, what's like? You would have to ask them what's the fourth dimension then. And if they can't tell you what the fourth dimension is, they don't know what the fuck none of that shit is, bruh. They can surmise that if it's a 3D, it must be a 4D. That don't mean they know. The fuck? That's no different than you sitting there acquiescing to your mama what she might want you to say as a kid. Based on her patterns up until then. You feel me? Like, that don't mean you know what the fuck she wants you to say for real. But I feel you though. Like that ain't nothing wrong. That's kind of positive thinking to feel like other people should know. You know what I'm saying? But that goes as far as some people be thinking like other people should know when they take it negatively. Like, nigga, you supposed to know this shit. I ain't got time to play with you, nigga. You disrespected the fuck out of me. And me being a person who definitely, you know what I'm saying, is working on that type of shit. It's like, I definitely see why I gotta work on that shit. Because you put yourself in a situation to always be off-ended. For real, for real. Nah, you can't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere. It's 9:22. I am grateful for all that I've been through, because the work has been done. More rewards are here and soon to come. Hey, peace out, peace within, peace out.